Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I'm your host, Dylan Cooper, the Conscost over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And guys, we are done with our last shitty book.
It's the last
Without
one.
Int.
It's the only one. There's no more shitty books.
I've been told that we're through the rough patch of bad books. I think.
We have two novellas approaching.
Yeah, I think after those. I don't know anything about Eye of Terra, how it is. I'm pumped for Path of Heaven.
Yes. And Eye of Terra seems cool. I don't know. It's got Sanguinius on the cover.
I can't find it for cheap, so I went and bought a Kindle so I could get the e-version of it.
There you go.
It's really stupid. I found out that for the 6 books left that I cannot find cheap, it is cheaper for me to buy a Kindle and all the digital versions of the books than it was to get the books. By like $130.
Yeah. I'm still searching for quite a few.
I need to get some of the original ones again, since first like 6 I have is yours.
Those are pretty easy to find.
Yeah. But like I can't find Aya Terra, POD, being sent Angels of Caliban, luckily.
Have you found Wolfsbane?
I have Wolfsbane.
I'm
pretty sure I have Wolfsbane. I'm like 99% sure I have Wolfsbane.
That's like a big one. Can't find that one. Do you
sure I found that one at like Barnes and Noble.
Do you have Emperor of Mankind?
I do. That was one of the hardback ones I had made the order.
Oh, that's
they got that Angaro at the same time.
Yeah, I decided not to go for the hardback. I could have ordered those, but
I have like random hardbacks now. I have Master of Mankind, War Without End, Shattered Legions.
Good luck finding Vulcan
Angaro. I have paperback of Vulcan Lives.
Which one do you not have that I have? You're always like, how do you get that?
Shit. I don't know. I have a bunch right now. Old Earth, maybe?
Old Earth. Yeah.
I couldn't find Old Earth.
Old Earth.
I could have got Talern at fucking Barnes and Noble, and I just kept putting it off. And I'm pretty sure that one copy was around for like a year, and finally it was gone. I was like, son of a bitch.
Nice. We're ranting about finding books, so. Anyway, welcome to the Heresy Lodge.
Yes, we are a podcast. We do things. So this week we are doing just like a what if episode. We're going to talk a little bit about the board game, tabletop game, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, that's it. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a mead. It's a phenomenal mead. It is from Honeybrook Meader. I think I had this meadery on. It's from Colorado. And it's pretty fucking good. It's called Blueberry Lavender.
Yes. Nice and sexy.
And yeah, like it's a whole massive can too. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. I have myself a bottle of wine. This was gifted to us recently. It is from 19 Crimes. It is a Cabernet Sauvignon. It's pretty good, actually. It's really good. Never had any of their wine before, but it's good.
Nice.
So, guys, hop on the Discord. Shoot the shit with us. Whatever. Do whatever you want with us. I don't know anymore.
Don't say that. That sounds really dangerous. Don't
Tips are enabled for certain things.
Don't give the community the chance.
Yes. So you can always find us at our email at theheresylodge@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at Heresy Lodge. I'm really bad at fucking tweeting. I promise I'm active on it. I just don't actually ever tweet because I don't have anything interesting to talk about. Tips are enabled on there, though, if you're interested in contributing to the podcast at all. Our Discord is pinned to the top over there. And we're on YouTube as well, so please like and subscribe.
Yeah. So, jumping right into it, Pharos. I'm just kidding.
I'm on chapter 5.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of what ifs that came through.
You want to go into the tabletop first?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the tabletop. So if you're not interested in the tabletop rant that we do sometimes, you can fast forward. But man, it's a completely different game now. We were just talking about this. We got new Warzone Nephilim. We got new points updates. We got changes in FAQs. We got, I think that's
Hell, there were
no,
even some
balanced data slate.
versions and shit.
Yeah, they changed a bunch of stuff, and then they released a whole new codex. Like the Chaos Space Marine Codex is probably the largest codex they've released so far.
I think the next one, the Chaos Demons, is actually, I think it might be a bigger book.
Oh my gosh. So
There's
many
like 50 something data sheets.
for Chaos. Oh wow, that's gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what though? For Chaos, I'm glad. Like Chaos players, if you ever play like a pure Chaos list, it's always hilarious. Like they're always fun. And they're like completely random demons. They're like, I've never even heard of that. And they're like, yeah, it sucks, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, look at it. It's fucking cool looking.
Yeah, you get like one of those great unclean ones. They got like 30 wounds now or something stupid. I'm like, all right, well, I've got a lot of rail guns.
Gotta be shooting that thing.
Yeah. But it is the Wild West and the tabletop. And unfortunately for me right now, it's really hard to find games. People are really diverting to the Horus Heresy, probably rightfully so. They're going to other game systems. People don't really like getting used to a game system and then it completely changing. We had,
Especially after, I mean, yes, things changed with like Octarius?
Octarius, yeah.
Yeah, but this is dramatically different.
Yes, like this is definitely the biggest change. This is essentially like a whole new edition, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like 9.5.
Exactly. So this is what really sucks about it. If they would have just nerfed Tyranids and Tau, it would have been like the most balanced game of 40K I've ever seen. Because it was already pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And Tyranids were just nuts. And so there were some Eldar shenanigans that was nuts. Just making those few changes would have been great. But it was time for a new season. So what sucks about it, and this is what I don't understand that GW does, it just blows my mind. They released points updates for a game that doesn't exist anymore. They're like, here is a fix to this game. Also, new
Here's a
game.
new one.
With those points and those fixes.
Also, it makes things even worse. This just makes me so fucking mad. It's $30 for like a 40-page softback book.
I thought it was going to be hardback.
Yeah, I also thought it was going to be hardback until it was delivered in a tiny box. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Wait a minute. Yeah, what they did put the rules back in.
Good. They should have never been taken out.
I agree. They say that they made the points for free. Joke's on them. They were always free.
Yep.
GW. There's so many things we could say. The problem is they just made so many changes. There's no way they had time to playtest all these changes. We have a lot of really broken builds out there. Necrons in particular are pretty nuts because the Silent King is crazy. He's core now.
Yeah.
So we can get a bunch of rerolls. Silent King is so powerful. Without the Silent King, if the Silent King data slate didn't exist, the Necrons would still be good. They would just be like regular, but he just takes them to this god tier. That's pretty insane.
He got a good buff. I'm pretty sure the sister's got a really good buff.
Yeah. What sucks about the Necrons too is there's a lot of rulings because technically the Silent King can be resurrected because he has 3 models in his unit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so he has these Menhirs, which are like 5 to 7 wounds basically, and they're powerful. Like they're the big hitting. Once you take down the Menhirs, he can't really do a lot of anti-tank. That's like high AP, high damage weapons that they fire. So it's weird because technically, per ruling, you can resurrect a Menhir if it dies, which is insane value.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you get into the situation where like one Menhir could be dead and one could be or the Silent King could have taken damage, but then the Mynir gets resurrected. And there's a ruling in the Silent King's data slate that says the Mynir has to be targeted first. But then the core rules say if a model is wounded in a unit, they have to be taken.
Yeah.
So there's this like weird conflict. And what it's led to is a lot of tournament organizers just saying you can't resurrect Mynirs.
That's kind of fair though.
Yeah, but it sucks when you get to this state where tournament organizers have to basically FAQ rules because Games Workshop is too slow, and then when they do it, it's so insane where they just change all the rules and cause more problems. Then there's the whole engagement range issue that they're having right now. Have you heard about this one?
Yeah, so now it's only like an 8-inch charge to go through ruins.
From Deep Strike, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you...
Yeah, you have like 2 inches now that like within the ruin, right?
Yeah, if you're within 2 inches of a model and the closest line from one model, the closest model in your unit and the closest model in their unit passes through obscuring, engagement range is now 2 inches, not 1 inches. And it causes a lot of really weird rule interactions, like situations where you charge somebody and then you fight and consolidate out of the terrain, and basically make it to where you're within 2 inches, but out of an inch. And now when they fight back, they're technically not in engagement range because the closest line isn't through obscuring terrain.
That's fucked.
Yeah, so like there's this like really weird situation that people are doing. I don't know. There's a lot of like weird shenanigans.
Gotchas.
Yeah, and it sucks because you're going to see that play at super upper tables. I have seen tournament organizers just say that's not a thing. We're not doing that. Like we're not doing the 2-inch engagement range. Like just play how you normally did previously. So, and then you have the sisters. What happened with the sisters?
I think they just received just like a bunch of buffs, like with points and stuff, and like armor contempt helped them out a lot.
Yeah, they got armor contempt. They got a bloody rose change that was phenomenal. They got amazing secondaries, and then they got points drops for like no reason. Like
the secondaries was another thing that just like really helped boost them.
Yeah, so that's a big thing that I think is important in this new game with Nephilim is like now they took away. I understand why they did this. They took away Stranglehold and they took away To the Last. I get it. That was like an auto include for about 50 to 60% of armies.
Yeah.
And it just made like the game very monotonous, which it's just like it was kind of like I'm gonna go out, hold objective this turn, die, then go out next turn, take you off of it, get Stranglehold, and that's what it was. That was the game.
Yeah.
But then they also made it to where, okay, you can take as many secondaries as you want from your faction. That fucked up the entire game. Like that was a really bad move.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because like it sucks. So like any army that has like good secondaries, like good for them. There's,
it's
like,
just
so
better.
many armies that have like shitty ones.
Yeah.
Like the Grey Knight ones kind of fucking suck, other than Purifying Ritual. The other one is like killing demons. And apparently like the new Demon Codex, it's like you don't score points on killing demons or some shit. And it's like, wait a minute. So the one that would be ever used against demons can't even be used against demons. So what's the point of that? And then the other one's like teleporting behind like the back line or some shit. It's like cool.
My favorite.
You have to get teleport and get a kill, but that's like they're 2 CP or a wolf charge of 7.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's not
and
not
you have
guaranteed.
to get a charge most of the time afterwards.
Yeah, you gotta get
9-inch
charge. Yeah. No
Too
way.
much risking on it. The one change that I like in the Thousand Suns I thought was so funny. They dropped points for Magnus by like 40 points. Now it's like, oh, like Magnus might be kind of a take. And then they changed the secondary of Wrath of Magnus to where you have to kill more in your psychic phase than your opponent to Magnus can't score this.
Which is so
What the
fucking
fuck?
hilarious. Wrath of Magnus, but not for Magnus.
Magnus doesn't feel his own wrath. Oh, it was
We
so
have contempt, Magnus.
Oh, geez, that's so crazy. Yeah, it really what it does. It makes for a lot of not feel good moments. Like the Necrons are really winning right now because all of their secondaries they complete in their turn, so they have no interaction. Like there's nothing you can really do to stop them from scoring it.
Yeah, I think Blood Angels might be good right now too because they're secondaries or something.
They dropped a
AOC.
shitload of points too for some
Yeah.
reason. Secondary guard super cheap. Armor contempt, all that fun stuff. And knights.
I looked at the like winners of like last week's tournaments. I'm trying to remember what all was on there. There was a lot of like different ones. I mean, Eldar, of course, are still up there.
Well, that's the thing, is like we were just saying, people are saying, hey, this is great. These changes are phenomenal. Look, there's so many different winners. You have Eldar winning, you have Blood Angels winning, you have Iron Hands winning. Like, there's so many winners. There's no longer a clear winner. That's because these changes have been out for maybe this is like the first or second week that they're being used at tournaments.
Yeah.
The changes were so drastic. We absolutely have no idea how it's going to impact everything. And I guarantee you, give it another couple weeks, and you're going to see an army start to really pull away from the rest of the pack as far as wins go in grand tournaments, because it's going to be like, oh, this is kind of the thing. And we just got the new Trader Legions, so I heard word bearers are really good, unfortunately.
So just as like a quick thing from the last weekend, I'll just say like the top tables: Necrons, Harlequins.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes to the Necrons and Eldar, the old ways, and then Necrons and Orcs. Then you have Imperial Knights in 5th place, Harlequins, Imperial Knights, Tau, Iron Hands, Tau, Tyranids. Harlequins versus Adeptus Sororitas, I don't fucking know. Oh, that was Manny from Goonhammer that won that. The sisters. Astartes, Tyranids, Harlequins.
I'm surprised Tower's still up there. That's interesting to me.
So far, that was the only one I've seen so far that has that Tau out there. Black Templars won one against Tyranids. Some Orcs up there in 3rd place.
Which is also interesting.
Yeah. Tyranids, Adeptus Custodes, Thousand Sons, Tyranids, Orcs, Space Marines, Genestealer Cult.
Genestealer Cult. What is happening?
Oh, here's the one. Here's Tau in 2nd place. They lost to Iron Hands. Oh, never mind. Tau won. They won 100-88. Interesting.
Perfect
score. Yeah, it's kind of everywhere, plus Necron's high up.
Yeah, Necrons are doing very good. It's really just the Silent King, and it's their secondaries, those combinations. But I really it's so spread right now, and I think a lot of it is just because no one even has any idea what the fuck's going on. So we'll see. We'll see how this occurs. Word bears are very nasty, though. I think they're going to come out swinging. Also, the creations of Bile. Have you heard about their special rule? Oh, they just fight on death. Like absurd AP, absurd melee. You just never want to charge them because regardless, they're going to hit you back.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. So yeah, that's the state of the game. I think it's just crazy. Hard to find games. People are upset about it. People are feeling good about it. It's all over the place. It's hard to get a read on the community right now. So
that's always the Warhammer community, I think. Then.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, you can be like, these people hate the Tyranids. But right now, no one even knows. So we shall see.
All right, you ready for some what ifs?
I'm ready.
Where do you want to start?
Oh, I don't know. But I vaguely remember a couple that you said, so I think we can start with the Dorn one.
Yeah, let's do the biggest one then. So the Dornian Heresy. for those that don't know, is basically a flip of the traitors and loyalists, except that Horus, obviously, it is Dorn. So your traitors are Iron Hands, Blood Angels, Raven Guard, Ultramarines, White Scars, Salamanders, Dark Angels, Space Wolves. Obviously, Hero Fist.
This is interesting because there's a lot of questions I have. Like, a lot of this I would never like. They're betraying the Emperor.
Yes.
Just doubt already. Like, obviously, like, this is just.
I'm
like
sure it goes into like a real explanation on why. I'm just not about to read an 87-page PDF. I haven't even read 87 pages of fucking Pharaohs yet.
There's to think of that, the idea that like Lehman Russ betrays the Emperor and
Honestly,
Angron
just
doesn't.
in general.
Yeah, Dorn betrays the Emperor and Angron doesn't. Or Curse, exactly. But if we were to think about this just from a pure like, would they win? I think this is a very weird question.
I think one thing that you have to think about, does Manus kill Fulgrim then at Isfan if this happens?
This could go a lot of different ways. So first you have to think about like, where does this heresy start? Because if it starts at Isfan, that's a little weird. Like let's say Dorn. It would be super weird because
I'm imagining Dorn getting stabbed by the fucking Anatheme and fucking Sigismund being like, damn. Emperor protects though. We'll see what happens.
yeah, there's so many like questions here. I just don't. So the one thing is like the traitors or the loyalists at that point, with Angron, with Mortarion, and all them. I think one of the issues, if we flipped the pieces, and you had like Portorabo, for instance, laying the barriers of Terra, and the problem really is you have all these crazy fucking loyalist Primarchs now that instead of creating a united force, I think the biggest thing here is probably like Gilman's Imperium Secundus, right? That would never happen for the loyalists. I think most of the loyalists would probably go out alone, like Angron, Conrad Kurz, and just try and kill them for fun. Like, I think they would just have fun with it.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like, the reason kind of Gilman can do it is because he has such a vast spot in the galaxy.
The 500 worlds, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, like, Angron doesn't even have his own fucking planet. Conrad Kurz doesn't either because he blew it up.
The next question I would have then would be like, does the Mechanicum still split in half? Portorabo, I think a lot of this revolves around 2 Primarchs on the loyalist side, or 3. Portorabo would take on the role of Dorn, but I don't think he would do it as well, or he would do it better. It would be like one of the like, it would either be like Portorabo doesn't work well with others, or it would be Portorabo doesn't take shit. So he would probably just kill the custodes.
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
So that's definitely one thing.
Although, I don't know, when someone gets called back, do you think they call back Portorabo first, or do they call back Horus first?
They'll call back Portorabo first. If so, the question is like when this all occurs, right? Is it during the same time? Is it after the Emperor requests Dorn to return to rebuild stuff, or is it like
sure this tells me? I just haven't read it.
It's like a flip-flop scenario where Portorabo gets called back instead of Dorn, and in that situation, I think Portorabo would do better than Dorn on Terra because he wouldn't give a shit about the civilian population. He wouldn't take shit from the custodians.
You know who I think would actually be useless though on the loyalist side?
Who's that?
Alpha Legion. I think they
Yeah.
are so good at like doing everything behind and like turning worlds. I don't think they would be like nearly as impactful as a loyalist.
On the defensive, yeah. I get what you're saying, because like basically they're taking down the establishment right now.
Yeah.
There's no establishment to take down. I think you would probably see the Alpha Legion turns into more of like a assassin based kind of planet, if anything, or not planet, Legion.
They have turned into a planet. I can't
Everybody
wait till the
walk
Blood
arms.
Angels see that. Like, oh, it's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Is I think the traders at that point are going to be so much more organized. You're going to have to figure out how to deal with them. You can still send Kurz to deal with the Lion. That's easy. The Lion will still hand over siege weapons to Porto Robo.
Curse could keep not only the Lion busy, but Gilman too.
That's
and
what
maybe even Vulcan. I don't know.
I would do the same thing, like Angron, and if you could, yeah, this is so weird, because I'd be like, okay, Lorgar, create the Ruin Storm. That's what we need. But then, like, Lorgar's a loyalist. Is he like, yeah, I can't wait to sacrifice all these millions of innocent people? Like, is that still his motive, or is
Probably
he?
not.
Yeah. So, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, you're Horus. You're trying to defend. You use Porto Robo as the person in the back line. How do you organize your military? Conrad Curse is really good at distracting people. The Alpha Legion might be like more of an assassination kind of thing.
Do you think Horus is patient enough to
Yeah.
wait for it to happen to Terra? Or do you think he would take it to Dorn?
The problem is, if you
trying to take down Dorn would be hard. If he was attacking, it would probably be easier.
exactly, so that's kind of becomes the problem, is, but also not at the same time, because if you look at the legions that are with Dorn at this point, they are so much better at mobilizing in full force. You have the Blood Angels, you have the Ultramarines, you have the Dark Angels, you have the Imperial Fists, you have the Iron Warriors, you have the Salamanders. That group of people, they're going to be able to take all of those legions and go in one. The Scars, the Raven Guard, they're not going to be in there. They're going to go do their own thing, because they're not going to be a part of that.
Scars are traitors in this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like the traders would have an easier time mobilizing.
Oh yeah.
But there's a few, like the Raven Guard and the Scars, probably wouldn't be a part of that force. So in my mind, like as Horus, the only people you can really rely on at this point is like you can probably rely on Mortarion, you could rely on the Word Bearers, and you can rely on the Emperor's Children, because they're not all Slaneshed up. So, and then you have Porto Robo in the back end. So the other legions are just so fucking crazy. So you send the Night Lords, you send the World Eaters to fight the Scars, to fight the Raven Guard, and you wait for the attack.
All knows. Think about how funny a scene would be with Sevatar and Torgadon. Just shooting the shit, making fun of everyone else.
It would be good.
That's actually the only part I care about.
Now, would Torgadon be a traitor? Would Loken be a traitor?
I don't
would
think
Garo?
so, because they would all be loyalists. If their legion never turned on them.
I just think it's a flip scenario. So in my mind,
you still might have half the White Scars, I guess.
Yeah, you can still have half the Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be really, really hard. Lehman Russ is going to come for the Emperor. Let him.
Yeah, but he's going to have to like send people there to like make fucking marks first.
Yeah. Lehman Russ is kind of useless here, because with Horus, and when in this current scenario, in the books, like Lehman Russ can just target the Vengeful Spirit, and he's fighting one legion because they're so fucking scattered. His target on the flip side wouldn't be Horus, it would be the Emperor, and that's kind of what Lehman was designed to do. was like take out the head. He's like the guy that fights. And I think he would
I need to see if
pushed.
they mention what side Magnus is on.
So Magnus is the third Primarch that I think would be like super up in the air, because the trick in my mind
doesn't have anything for the Lord.
The trick in my mind is if Magnus is a loyalist, maybe you get the webway up and running.
Yeah, and then it's just OP.
Yeah, because that's kind of this is the real problem. If Magnus is a loyalist, the Emperor is no longer distracted. And you're not just dealing with the legions anymore, you're dealing with Big E. And I think that's going to present a huge problem. I think with the Emperor in play for a majority of the heresy, whatever side has him is going to have an upper hand. And then you add Magnus to that, maybe you get the webway up and running, you're fucked. People are just going to be a pure.
You have literally the 3 strongest psychers in the galaxy.
Rogaldorn doesn't even have psychers. All you have is the.
They're locked in the basement.
Yeah. If Magnus is a loyalist, whoever is on that side wins. I think that Magnus is such a big turning point. And him being traitor, he wasn't even really traitor, but him going against the Emperor, really, he did more damage to Terra and anything than fucking Horus did in the beginning. Yeah. So I think like if you had Magnus and that didn't happen, whoever betrayed the Emperor is going to have a much harder time. Plus, you also have to think like the loyalists got hit pretty hard at Isfahan. So I don't know if the same thing happened.
I just think it's really dumb that this all-powerful psyker of the Emperor can't close a fucking door.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's up with that. The Emperor, in my opinion, is very similar to the Primarchs of the Space Marines, where like their power level is so fluctuated, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's almost like that's definitely why they did. They wrote him out so that like.
How would we even?
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, so I think like they would lose with the Emperor on their side, with Magnus on the side. I think they would lose, and like Dorn and Portorabo cancel each other out. So I think it's also interesting that it's the Dornian heresy. I don't know why Dorn would be the choice. If anything, I would think like Sanguinius or Gilliman.
Yeah.
Dorn was the Primarch when Horus became War Master. Only a few select Primarchs truly were like happy for him. And I really think it's only like 2 that were like happy for him. A lot of them were neutral.
Yeah.
But like Dorn.
Not the Lion, though.
Not the Lion. The Lion was mad. Obviously, Angron was mad because he's always mad. Gilliman was a little hurt. But Dorn and Sanguinius were the 2 that were like, yeah, like you deserve this shit. Nice job.
Yeah.
And like the idea that Dorn is the leader, the new War Master. I don't think he was like next in the bucket.
Yeah.
I think it was Sanguinius.
I agree. So yeah. Any other thoughts for the Dornian heresy?
No. If Magnus is on your side, you win.
Yeah, I agree.
If Magnus is a loyalist, the loyalists win. There's no ifs, ands. Not that necessarily that Magnus is so powerful. It's that the actions and effects that he had on the heresy, if they never came into play, like you're fucked because the Emperor's on the loyalist side then.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and keep it Imperial Fest related. And let's go to what if Portorabo was killed at the Battle of Fao and his fleet was annihilated. So if Pollux wasn't a fucktard.
Pollux is so dumb. I mean, it would have been over.
Yeah, completely, because Dorn is the only one that's fucking sane.
Or you in Portorabo?
Yeah, Portorabo.
Yeah, I haven't read the whole heresy, obviously. But in my mind, this is how it's going to go. They're going to get close to Terra, and Horus is going to be like, holy He's gonna be freaking out.
See, I think they get the Terra, and Horus sits back. Lets everyone else attack.
Yeah, but everyone else is gonna be like crazy.
Yes,
they're gonna be
except
attacked.
for Porter Robin, and he's like, son of a bitch.
Exactly. Like Horus is gonna want to take the planet, and you have Fulgrim putting magnets up his butt to be shot out as a spear, and you have Mortarion like being super cringy. There's just a lot of like his brothers that just they don't make a lot of sense once they get to Terra.
Yeah.
And like Porter Rabo is really the hammer that cracks the shell, or I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think Porter Rabo is going to be the guy that comes down and says, "Okay, Horus, here's your doorway." Without Porter Rabo, I think the Siege of Terra would have been a very one-sided battle.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be close at all.
Yeah, so I think that would have been in there. Plus, like you have to think like how would that affect the actual heresy? Probably like the push for the heresy, probably not very much. Horus probably thought Porter Rabo was dead after he saw Fulgrim's snaky snake form.
Man, could you imagine if Fulgrim would have fucking actually killed him?
Yeah.
I guarantee Horus would be like, God, fuck.
You'd want to kill Fulgrim.
Yeah, I have to kill that snake thing now.
God damn. Go get my magnet collector.
I'm about to shoot this thing so far.
Yeah, there's no way that the traitors would have. Pollux really should have just fucking killed Porter Rabo.
Yeah, I would have just won right there.
Yeah, like honestly, the death of any Primarch except for the Lion would have really changed the tide of the heresy. Obviously, like Ferrus Manus died. I think you could make the argument, as far as right now, and from what I know, you probably don't need Vulcan for the heresy to like be
all three of the salamanders. What do you mean?
Yeah, you probably don't need the Lion.
Rax.
Yeah, a lot of the loyalists you could throw away pretty easily.
I mean, Korax also only has like 10 fucking Astartes, so like, what good is he?
At this point, too, like Fulgrim has done nothing like to actually further the heresy. Yeah, but the Horus really needed all those guys. Then he needed all of them. The loyalists, you had Dorn, you had Gilliman, you had Sanguinius, and they were like, and Lehman Russ, and probably Jagatai. And I think those five are like, we'll take it from here. The rest of you can sit down. I wanted to.
You and your three sons can all chill somewhere else.
I'm very excited for Angels of Caliban because I cannot wait to just talk so much shit about the Lion. I do not understand why people like the Lion at all.
It makes no sense.
Every time I see Dark Angels, I'm like, oh, why?
What if Luther was the Primarch?
They win.
Dark Angels randomly become super good.
Randomly.
They no longer just have random fucking stockpiles at Caliban of people not being used. They have a full army. Holy shit, that's nuts. Oh, wait. And they're allowed to have their secret stuff? Wait a minute. And you're telling me Luther's not going to use this teleporting thing? Doubt it.
Yeah, they're not giving over siege engines to Porto Rabo. They're using the teleporting thing. Luther's like being very open and honest with Gilliman. Hey, like the Night Lord's up there. We need to figure out how to kill Conrad.
Yo, man, I got this motherfucker stuck on my ship and I don't know what to do.
Okay, we're coming to you.
Look, I'm not going to land because this dude's fucking nuts.
Yeah, the Lion is
so worst.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, what else do we have? That was an easy one.
What if Gilliman had not waited so long at Calth to begin the fight back?
Well, we know now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Calth doesn't mean shit.
Calth is completely pointless. Calth is a propaganda move.
Yes, it sure is.
Maybe he would have killed Corfarion.
I doubt it. He fucking ripped out his heart and Corfarion still survived.
That's true. I think the biggest thing, the question at that point is like, would the Ruin Storm happen? Because that's kind of, I think, the like heart of this question. So, because it's like, if Gilliman would have acted faster at Calth, could he have prevented the Ruin Storm?
Maybe.
So the real question is, what if the Ruin Storm never occurred? The loyalists just fuck up the traitors. That's like,
Yeah, I wouldn't even be close.
yeah, because you have at that point, then the Lion would stop having nightmares about Caliban and actually do something.
Would he though?
We hope.
I doubt it. I'm gonna put a big X on that one.
Yeah, Sanguinius. Yeah, the Ultramarines. The real problem at that point really is like you have. I never understood how Ultramar was still being a thing because you have the Ruin Storm, but you also have the Word Bearers and the World Eaters just running around.
Yeah, apparently like random fucking Death Guard ships.
Yeah, so like I don't understand how they were even able to fight them in the first place.
Yeah.
Like I understand like how the traders were able to go through the rune storms. They're all like warpy and shit, but how the loyalists were even able to like put up a fight. But without the rune storm, here's the thing: before Angron's demonhood, you could really fuck that guy up.
Yeah.
Like you could play into his weaknesses really easily and draw Lorgar into it. And Lorgar is like the biggest pussy in existence. Like I think those two legions would have been really easy for the Ultramarines to crush. And then they could move on to Terra. The Blood Angels probably would have just showed up to Terra. But the real question is like, how much would that change? Because
Well, I mean, knowing just like what I know of what happens in the siege, like the Ultramarines and Dark Angel are like slow to get to Terra. If there's not a ruin storm, they would have already been there.
oh, that makes sense. That would have been a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's if Gilliman was able to prevent the Ruin Storm by attacking early at Cal. But we also know that
There's still storms, like really bad storms.
yeah, and we also know too that like Lorgar was doing his own shit, so maybe he would have just done another Ruin Storm.
We also know the Night Errants can just fly through it fine. And so can the fucking Salamanders, apparently.
I wouldn't say fine. They needed a candle.
Sure. Either way, they got out of it, and they were like, let's go back and we missed our stop. And we fucking went back in instead of being at Terra. Which still doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like,
turn around. This is Dwarf. We need everyone here right now. So we're good.
I don't think this is a spoiler, but apparently, like in Old Earth, Vulcan just like takes out the Fulgurite.
I hope
so. It's like, wait a minute. Could any of Primarch have fucking done that? Like, I don't know, Gilliman or the Lion, or I don't know, maybe the fucking Emperor, who not only made the weapon, is fucking God. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. I were to guess.
No, we gotta go take him to our own volcano. We can't use any volcano on fucking Earth.
We
where he was created.
To Deathfire because Vulcan lives.
That makes it. This is maybe even more mad because their whole thing was, oh, we have to take him back to where he's from. He's from fucking Terra. You were at Terra. Throw him in a fucking volcano in Terra. There are all volcanoes there. I know. I live on it.
Newsflash, buddy. He's from Terra.
He was made here. In my basement.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. One thing that I kind of thought about was the big question: what if the Emperor told Magnus about the webway? After reading Demonology, there's so much interesting conversation to be had about Nikeah. Now that we know it was planned.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, was Nikeah... So we originally said it was just a nerf Magnus, which kind of, but also was it they just wanted to make more Terran happy? Did they actually have a plan? Like, hey, I'm working on the webway now, so we should shut down Psychers?
I think they did. The question is, how did the Thousand Sons and how did Magnus fit into that? We know the Emperor is okay with killing his creations in order to move on to the next phase of his plan. But I think what's so interesting is like, even when Magnus broke through the webway, the Emperor didn't tell Lehman Russ to kill Magnus or kill the Thousand Sons. He just told him to bring Magnus back.
Yeah.
So,
Which one of our what ifs was what if Horus didn't change the orders for Lehman Russ?
all right, let's talk about that. I don't know if Horus necessarily changed the orders for Lehman Russ. Wasn't it that he just tried to convince Lehman that Magnus's crimes were worse?
I don't remember. That was fucking 30 books ago.
Essentially, yeah, Horus manipulated events and convinced Lehman that Magnus needed to die. So what if they actually brought Magnus back to Terra? I think at this point we don't know. We haven't read The Crimson King, which I think talks a lot about that, but I don't know if it would have changed too much personally, because I think
I think it would. Because I think instead of Horus, or not Horus, the Emperor fighting in the Materium, they're just in Magnus to do it. It was his mess.
you think that would yeah.
I mean, he would have a whole army of Psychers that he could take with him.
That makes sense. Have the Thousand Sons fight the demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be killing two birds with one stone. Literally.
Yeah, you're gonna kill up the demons. I mean, you're kind of punishing him.
And you get to kill the Psychers that you're trying to get rid of, but don't want to like kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a win-win-win right there.
That's true. That would have been really nice.
A+ move, apparently.
Yeah. Magnus choosing to side with Horus is always interesting to me. Because like the story goes, Magnus is like, Horus, don't go traitor. Don't do that. And Horus is like, I'm gonna go traitor. And then Horus went up to Liam and was like, kill that motherfucker. He kills him. And then Magnus is like, all right, you got me.
Damn, I'm stuck in a hard place.
I can't go back to dad. That's why I always liked the Thousand Sons of the Legion, because it always seemed like them more than anyone else did not fall into the stereotypical, like, I am traitor, I am heretic Astartes kind of thing. It was more like, what the fuck are we going to do now?
Yeah, because I mean, they are kind of stuck.
Yeah, they've been stuck.
Yeah.
They need to be stuck. They are stuck now. That's why I play them. I'm trying to get them unstuck. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big what if. I think that makes a lot of sense, though. That would have been really cool. Would have been a nice what if story. I wish they had like oh shit, what's the service that they provide? The Warhammer Plus. I wish they had like a what if service, quote unquote service.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if there are any animators that want to do everything for free because we're not getting paid.
We've got great ideas.
Yeah, we will write a great script. If it makes money, we'll definitely give you some.
Yeah, we'll give it all to you. I just think it's funny.
Hold on. Depends how much it is.
I'm sorry. I'm making promises that I may not be able to keep in the future.
Oh, that's $3 million. Oh, that'd be cool if we had that.
Damn, Gavin, wish you wouldn't have said on that podcast.
Gavin. We could be rich.
Yeah. Well, you know that wouldn't happen. We'd get a cease and desist from Games Workshop so quickly.
So fucking fast. Yeah.
Are you animating Warhammer?
You just want to work for us? We'll give you like $13 an hour. Oh, thank you so much, GW.
Appreciate it. Oh, on that topic, kind of going back a little bit, did want to talk about something I forgot. The new Angron model got released.
Dude, I'm so pumped.
Yeah, your World Eaters are coming, dude. It looks
awesome.
He
looks fucking badass. I'm gonna be scared to paint him like you are with Magnus.
Yeah.
But damn, he looks good.
Yeah. But did you hear about what happened from the announcement of Angron?
Oh yeah, so it got like leaked
Yeah.
before they released it. And it was
Like-
like this really shitty picture.
I'm about 100% positive that they did not want to tell people that Angron was being released.
Which I mean, I think it was heavily inferred anyway. But yeah,
Yeah.
because they were so fucking petty in their release notes. They
Yeah,
were like,
here he is.
yeah, he's like, Angron is super mad that there's a shitty photo of him running around, so here he is in high def.
That
Cool.
is so funny. Oh, jeez. And so they fired a bunch of playtesters.
Did they really? I didn't hear
Yeah.
about that.
You didn't hear that part?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, so they fired a bunch of people because they were like basically tracking down who they thought could potentially be leaking all their info. But the funniest part about this whole thing is it's okay because the playtesters weren't paid anyway.
That's fucked.
So they basically just went around for people that were like, yeah, we'll play test your game. And they didn't pay them, so they leaked the information, and then they were like, we're going to fire you, whatever. Are those playtesters pieces of shit? I don't fucking know. Like, who cares? Is GW a piece of shit? Not for firing their playtesters, maybe for not paying them in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, what they need to realize is like, shit's gonna leak.
Yeah, I mean, leaks are so beneficial to you.
Yeah. I mean, it hypes it up.
Yeah, it literally is the same fucking thing as a community post.
And it was literally a really shitty pixelated picture.
And they're like, we think this might be Angron. And GW is like, son of a bitch. They got us.
Yeah, it could have been like a fucking different version of like Kabunda if they like messed with it enough. But no, they're like, well, fuck it, here's Angron.
Yeah.
They could at least give me a fucking release date. Come on.
Assuming he's going to race with the World Eaters.
Yeah, but when's that happening?
Well, we saw
Chaos Demons next.
In the picture that there were also new guardsman units in that shitty picture. So I think after Chaos, the last, like, they're going to do a box set with guardsmen and World Eaters.
Which
then
sucks.
after that, the last release will be squats, which I'm like, okay, whatever.
Is it? I think squats might be first.
Really? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I think it's gonna go Chaos Demons, Squats, World Eaters.
You think they're going to release a new army before they give Imperial Guardsmen their update?
Oh yeah.
It's like, no,
Imperial Guards get the very last one, and they're gonna kickstart 10th edition with Space Marines 2.0.
Listen, Imperial Guards, you're going to go to the back of the line, and then, oh, a new person came up? Yeah, get behind them too. Oh, another new person? You get to wait with that person.
It's very Imperial Guard thing, so yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
That is hilarious. Well, if there's a box set, I might consider getting the other half of that box set for
Yeah,
you.
you can have the guards.
I don't know if I want to collect guard, but who knows?
I think they were supposed to be a Chaos Guard, maybe.
Yeah, definitely don't want that. I think that's so funny that they fired a bunch of players.
I mean, I'm not even surprised from GW, but come on.
I'm not like mad at GW, but like for me,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be very honest with anyone ever. I don't give a shit what a company does. If you make good food, I'm gonna eat at your restaurant.
The thing is, like, what is kind of blowing my mind about this is for a long time, these leaks, I'm like, this is so intentional. GW is definitely leaking this unintentional because, like, you think about what they release on their community page. It's like, oh, like, did you know, like, Chaos Space Marines get 2 wounds? Like, that's, and they're like, oh, and this profile, here's 2 profiles from 2 of the units. No one's gonna buy a fucking codex based off that.
No.
So, like, they, like, leak, like, people will leak the full codex. No one is using that leak as, like, what they bring to the table. Like
yeah.
Like, well, let me get on Reddit real quick and pull up this 32 out of 37 page codex and put my army on the table.
We're probably sure this is real.
Yeah, like, no one is doing that. So, like, obviously that leak exists to create, like, wow, this looks really powerful. I want to try this on the tabletop. Yeah. Instead of like your shitty community leaks, which are like, did you know they get 2 wounds and 3 attacks? Isn't that cool? And I'm like, I have no idea what this does.
It's like, oh, cool. It's what's supposed to be.
Yeah. And like, you know, like for the knights, for instance, it was like, hey, they can be honored or dishonored. And this is some things that you get from it. Here's like 2 of 6. I'm like, well, I want to see the other 4.
Yeah.
And that's what leaks do. That's it. Like, and they're not bad. I don't think those leaks are negative at all. Now, the leaking of Angron, you know, you could argue that like maybe they were intending, I don't know, like to leak it themselves. Like
that's what video maybe, but I mean, they literally put up that statement like a couple hours after with a video. So obviously they had something ready.
Yeah.
So like, what's the big deal?
It's so weird. It's weird how their marketing works. I feel like their marketing strategy is so iffy sometimes. Like I look at some of the decisions they make, I'm like, why would you do that? But hey, GW.
Yep. Probably make money. They have to. They fucking sell plastic.
Oh, they definitely make money because they don't pay their employees anything, and their cost of production is 12 cents.
All right, I spent $30 for a 40-page book, so yeah.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
half the size of a normal book.
Which sells for like $6.
Yeah. I can't believe it's $30.
And
then these motherfuckers, for free shipping, it's $32. And shipping is $10. So I bought like a fucking $5 brush just so I could have free shipping because it saved me $5.
Tricky bastards.
Annoying as fuck.
Yeah, I just ordered. There's all kinds of. I went to a local game store and ordered some Chaos Spawn last Saturday. And I went in there on Wednesday, you know, not expecting anything. I was just like, hey, like, Chaos Spawn happened to be in. Didn't even order them yet. Because they, as a store, you don't get free shipping until you place orders of $300 or more. And I'm like, so they have to wait for enough people.
That's only like 5 models.
I know.
Shit stocked.
So I'm like basically having to go around begging people to buy shit from the store. And
hey man, I really need you to request some shit here.
Please.
I will say, there's like, I don't know like what the actual seller is on eBay, but they always have shit for like $15 to $25 cheaper.
I'm looking to buy like a wholesale army off of eBay next, I think.
I've thought about it.
They're not like terrible, but the problem is it's hard to find a good
Some people really overprice their shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, but also you can find like if you get into a bidding war on eBay, you can get shit pretty cheap. But the problem is like finding a good lot.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like some people that like, oh yeah, it's painted, so this is $5,000. Like, dude, you have fucking 15 models here.
$5,000.
Dude, people are nuts. Like the way they overvalue their shit. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I saw Damnation of Pythos on eBay for $75.
It sounds like you want to keep Damnation of. Well, I mean that makes sense. Damnation of Pythos is the best book in the series.
But like,
did it come with the 2 prequels?
Most books. No. Like I saw like Flight of Eisenstein on there for like similar price, like random. I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
It's not even like
it's a $10 book.
Yeah, you can get that. You can print that. That's still in print. Like the first 5 books, I think, are still in print.
It's mind blowing. Like how much people overvalue the shit. Like I'm on several like Facebook groups of like people that like just like sell their stuff. There's been like several things like, oh, like I could buy like Grey Knight lock for like $300 and it's like 1,500 points, but it was like good amount like Terminators and shit. I'm like, yeah, that's like a pretty good deal. I never do it because I'm not gonna trust. I don't know, something about Facebook, buying off Facebook scares me.
Is that really it, or is it because you don't want to paint your stuff?
No, I'm fine having it.
Awesome.
There's just some shitty things out there. Bad practices, people. If you're selling a bunch of your shit, you sold at a discount.
I understand like things being more valuable painted, but it's got to be like painted well, and it's got to be.
There's a lot of not painted well.
It's got to be like, this is my whole painted army. I'll sell it $2,000 max. If you're selling like a 3,000 point army, I could see a fully like well painted army be worth like $2,000. But that's still a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, and it's hard to justify when you're married with a house.
Yeah,
that's my mortgage. I could pay my mortgage, or I could buy a bunch of plastic guys.
There's someone on eBay that sells Tyranids, but like they're like made to order. So like you'll purchase a Tyranid and it'll ship painted. Like they'll buy a box and paint it and ship it. But a Tyranid, like you can buy a Hive Tyrant for like $250. I'm like, holy shit. That's one model for $250.
Have you seen like prices of Knights? Or like Titans and shit? Oh my god.
Oh, Titans, yeah. Well, have you looked at, if you go to certain websites, they'll paint it for you. So you ship it to them, they paint it. It costs about 3 times more to have an army painted than it does to purchase the army.
I mean, they're probably just charging labor.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, the amount, and that's why these people think that they can sell their stuff for that much. But like, you're getting your army professionally painted, not buying somebody else's mediocrely painted army.
Yes. That's very different.
Yeah. Any other what ifs we need to go through? We've bounced around here.
The last one I had that was sent to us was like, what if the Council on Nicaea didn't happen? But we kind of talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, that is such an interesting concept now because there's so many questions around that. Did the Emperor want to shut down the Thousand Sons particularly? Did he want to eliminate Psychers? Why didn't he tell Magnus? Why, like, there's just so many different things. Why did Mortarion cry like a little bitch, even though the Emperor gave him what he wanted?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Like, the Council on Nicaea is strange, and I would like a short story just covering all of it, like the reasoning behind it. You know, now that we know that it was in existence long before the Space Wolves decided to make it a thing, did Leman Russ know about the Council of Nicaea? Part of me thinks he didn't, because they kind of used Leman Russ as like a way to be like, oh, let's have a council.
Let's have a good time.
Let's go to this volcano planet. Wow, it's carved out really well. Yeah, strange.
Huh, this seems like it was put together real good.
Yeah, I don't know why even have a council.
Yeah,
If you already knew the decision, I don't know, because like previously we talked about how we thought that the Emperor made his decision because Magnus lied. He changed the end of the story.
Yeah.
And so the Emperor was like, oh, the warp is fucking with them. But now we know it didn't matter. None of that mattered. None of this was like a thing. So I don't know. I think this is a very interesting concept, the Council of Nicaea. And it's probably going to be worth, at the end of the Heresy, we're probably going to do a lot of episodes, like recapping the Heresy, talking about the Council of Nicaea, maybe doing some more what ifs, the Primarch rankings, that kind of stuff. And I think once we have the full scope of Nicaea, we'll be able to understand like what all the players were and what the decision making was behind it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that it? Anything else?
I think we're good. I've had a lot of chats. We really didn't talk about a lot, but we rambled on. We are so good at rambling.
We're really good at that, yeah.
I wouldn't say good. Like, we're good at rambling. I'm not saying it's good to listen to.
Yeah, quality might be dog shit, but hey, we can fill up an hour. You ever need a filibuster, let us know.
Yep, we're there.
Yep. So on that note, hit us up on the email if you need that. theheresiolodge@gmail.com. You can tweet us at Heresy Lodge. Tips are enabled. We do not do filibusters for free. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe, leave comments, and that's it. Next week we'll be back with our preview of Pharaohs from Guy Haley. You guys have a good one.